What's going on, people? Welcome back. OnlyFacts Sports, episode 35. Shane's
35.
back with a tan.
You do have a tan?
A little bit.
I was in the sun a lot still.
Yeah. Do you like being tan?
I like being in the sun. But I love the sun.
If you could make your skin colour darker, would you?
I wouldn't change what I am. I'm not into like body modifications. I don't believe in that still. I wouldn't change.
Not even going gym. You said you want to go gym and put on some muscle.
You know what I mean, like artificial. You know how you can make yourself.
Oh yeah.
Like,
there's nothing you would do artificially.
No, if I was in the sun a lot and I got darker, that's the way it's gonna be in it. But I ain't gonna bleach or put flipping what them white people do.
Oh, the fake tan.
Yeah,
fake tan thing. Yeah.
I hear none of that.
That's one thing about dating certain white gal. I want you to help fake tan them.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm saying that you have black gal, and they just mess up your clothes, or they just leave bare weave in your flipping bed, bro.
Yeah, I've not dated any black gal that wear weave.
Swear.
Never.
To be fair,
I didn't know it was as popular as it is.
Yeah, I know, because your sister and your family, they generally...
they will have long hair.
It's funny, I have family members who have a really good grade of hair and they still wear wig.
Yeah.
So...
I hear you. But we're back. Shane's back. Thank you for putting in the effort to make the show.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you for the support. You know, it's a very
last week was active
week and you guys were there for it. Just keep supporting us, innit? We're growing, as you lot can tangibly see the growth.
Yep.
But we try to grow faster. We're trying to grow faster and we're trying to get bigger. And as I've always said, like, our views don't represent our subscribers. Like, we genuinely need more subscribers. Obviously, the views and where we're getting a lot more support for the podcast, which you guys are on right now. But if you guys can share it to more people, because I can tell you lot are watching it, because the watch time hours are good.
Yeah.
But it's not a large percentage of people watching it. You know what I'm saying? So just share it more often, support the thing. And when we do make it, just know that you were here first, innit? Yeah,
100%. You definitely be part of the journey. We're road to 5K, so like the video, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to all our followers and subscribers and whatever from all over the world as well. Because we had a lot of Americans in the other day. We're getting a lot of love from Australia.
Yeah. Maybe you might get some hate, but...
Maybe, but that's all part of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when we first started, we got no love from America. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of man... I feel like a lot of man turn on the video, hear the accent, and immediately are like, yo.
I feel like some people just hate just to hate.
That's fair too. Because I do that sometimes.
You know what?
I hate a lot of people for no reason.
I'm here for the hate as well, bro.
Yeah,
I'm here for everything.
Yeah, of course.
Bro, as long as you watch, I don't want you to have no opinion about me.
Yeah.
I want you to have a opinion, one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just recapping last week, Jai Opetaia.
Yeah.
Done what he was supposed to do.
Yep.
People felt that he got rocked in the second round. Yeah. Maybe not the best performance.
I feel like Jai Opetaia is one of, and this is the title straight away, he's one of the most overrated champions in boxing, bro. The amount of hype this guy gets from Jai Opetaia fans, I don't think there's actually a fighter who gets as much. No, there's bare fighters that get as much hype. He gets so much unnecessary.
At least he's actually a world champion. There's fighters with hype that aren't even world champions.
That's a fact, but he gets away with murder, bro.
Is it Cruiserweight? We've had this before at Cruiserweight.
Nah, fam. It's not that. He gets... A lot of people feel like... And people say, oh, he's the most avoided man. How is he avoided? How is Jai Opetaia avoided?
The difficulty that Jai Opetaia has... And this has all come from one thing, and that's Zurdo Ramirez moving up and doing what he's done in the division. Before Zurdo moved up and had those world title fights and done what he's done at 180. What is it, 180? What's
200 pounds.
Oh, yes, it is. Before that, he's done what he's done at 200 pounds. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't the same. When you've got a direct rival... Now, if you don't see that rival, like we were on the train of Canelo looks faded for a long time. But it was only when he didn't fight Benavidez that some people started to say, hold on a minute. Now it looks funny. Because now there's a direct, there's an obvious fight for you to have.
People are clicking on this video and be like, oh, that's because people are ducking Jai. In order for you to duck a fight, I have to offer you money and then you turn the fight down. That's how you duck a fight, bro. Or there's a fight that's being ordered and then you pull yourself out of a purse bid. Grammarian was looking to sell his belt to the highest bidder, bro. Before Zurdo, and I said it last week, it's purely and simply because Jai, for all him being a draw, he generates money in Australia, but he's not overpaid in. Oh, for me, the only time you can say someone's ducked you is if you've offered them a fight with a contract and then he turned the fight down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't see that.
There's other ways as well. People can keep themselves busy. So if somebody keeps themselves... I'm not saying Zerdo's ducking Jai, but if Zerdo says, right, I'm fighting Benavidez next, after Benavidez I'm fighting Billam Smith, and then after Billam Smith I'm fighting if he's blocking out his calendar, then you're blocked. But I understand what you're saying.
I've seen things like this happen before. When Canelo and Andrade was both at 160 pounds, and they were both at middleweight. Canelo had 3 belts, Andrade had 1. Canelo gave up all of those 3 belts, moved up to super middleweight to become undisputed when he was 1 fight from becoming undisputed at 60. But for me, mentally, I'm like, I know you personally didn't want that fight because you have the money and the finances to fight whoever you want.
Yeah.
You could fight at them times there, Canelo could have fought a pub man and sold out. You know what I'm saying? So
He was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I look at it the same with
Zerdo and
Jai Opetaia. Jai Opetaia isn't either Jai Opetaia isn't a big draw, and he can't be if he's fighting on Stan Sport, or Jai Opetaia doesn't have the ambition, because a lot of the times people have more confidence in their fighter than their fighter has in themselves.
But if that's the case, then the belt is useless. Because you can't tell me if Jai Opetaia is fighting in a sports hall in front of 5,000 people, I don't know the capacity, I'm making it up, on Stan Sport, he could sell that out without the belt.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Then how big are you of a draw are you? Because if you can't pay to get those... Because remember, there was...
Because if you're a big star in Australia, it's not like they're coming out to see the belt, a world title defense. No. Do you know what I'm saying? They're just coming out to see you. So what difference does it make?
But there's been great fighters that's gone over to Australia and fought. Devin went to Australia and fought.
It's taken us 6 minutes of recording time.
No, but
we're going to start a new thing on this show of how long does it take before Shane says David Haney in the podcast.
I didn't have a better example to use.
No, he did go over to Australia to fight. That's true.
I'm just trying to say, like, also you fought in Saudi.
Yeah.
You fought in Saudi. You know what I'm saying? Your level of opposition is yours to blame. To be fair, unless Zerdo was fighting top level opposition, I really don't want to hear it.
Is this part of a problem with Ring as well, or Riyadh season, whichever, they're kind of almost one and the same, but not always, where it's sold to fighters as like a Shakur, like a Jai, come and fight on this card and you are going to massively grow in exposure because we're the biggest audience. But we've seen that not really actually be true. That hasn't worked.
And you remember when you said that without Ring magazine or without Riyadh season, there's fights that we wouldn't have got. There's not many of those fights.
No.
I could arguably make the argument that without Riyadh season and ring cards, we probably would have got Jai Opetaia versus Zerdo Ramirez.
Potentially.
And I'll tell you why. Because of the inflated purses that we've been seeing people get from Ring magazine and Riyadh season, they now know I can get a large sum of money without fighting the same level of opposition.
This is what I said to you about AJ versus Fury. Fury's always going to ask for 100% of whatever the 100% is at the time, and all Turkey's done is inflate what 100% is. But we'll get to Luke Partridge in a minute. But
man, is what it is.
And Jai is on a media run of saying all the right things and moving the right way and saying I want these fights or whatever, but it's just not coming off.
I don't want to be fair. I don't really like to hear that because that's just words, bro.
Yeah,
it's just words. For me, you personally have to hold the people around you accountable, bro. You have to hold the people around you accountable. How much times can Shakur Stevenson say, "Oh, people are ducking me," before you say, "Bro, we have to make something happen here."
Yeah,
you have to. I'm tired. I'm actually. If you are ducked, then you've done something to make yourself duckable.
Yeah,
that's for me. For me, if I was a fighter, and I believe I'm the best in the division, you can't duck me, bro.
Yeah,
you can't duck me because I'm either taking low percentage. I'm doing whatever it takes. You're gonna receive a physical offer from me financially to say you got offered like Benavidez and Canelo. Canelo ducked Benavidez because he was offered money and he turned that money down.
Yeah.
How much money was Zerdo offered to fight Jai Opetaia? Answer that question. That's my point, bro.
Yeah.
You can't say you're a duck, but you're waiting for them to offer you money.
Okay.
That's not how it works, bro.
Yeah. We saw Roach versus Cruz on the weekend. Very ugly, scrappy fight. Bits of good boxing.
I don't think it was as ugly as people have been saying. I think the fight was a good fight. I think it was a good fight.
It was, I think, because people expected, it's based on expectation. Roach comprehensively outboxed Tank, in my opinion, and then was robbed of a decision. And Cruz is seen as not as good as Tank. So the logic going in was, if you can comprehensively outbox Tank and now you're fighting someone who's not as good as Tank, you should be able to comprehensively outbox Cruz. However, we know that Tank is mentally challenged and the people around him are probably equally mentally challenged. Whereas Cruz had a really good game plan, dragged him into deep waters and made Roach have to fight his fight. And now people are saying, actually, is the gap between Roach and Cruz technically as big as we thought that it was? If you were able to be dragged into a fight, you weren't actually able to get your boxing off as clean as
I feel like a lot of people have to look at the fact that it was his first fight at that weight class. He's moved up from 130 to 135, had one fight there against Tank.
And for a smaller guy, 5 pounds is a lot.
Then to 140 straight away. So you there's that. But then I also feel like he's fighting a guy who is historically ugly to fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you're going to look good against Cruz. But why I feel like it was a good fight on a whole is because there was moments in that fight where both of them can say, if I had done X, I would have won. Mm-hmm. And they also can look at it and say, there was moments where they were like, at this point, I was in complete control. The first 5 rounds or so, I would say Pitbull Cruz was in control. The last 5 rounds, I would say, other than minus maybe the last round, I would say Roach was in control. Do you know what I'm saying? So they both had moments in the fight, and I love fights like that where it ebbs and flows. One fighter was dropped. One fighter was obviously the cleaner and better boxer. But I love fights like that, and I feel like people who criticize that level, you didn't obviously, but people who criticize that level of fighting, I feel like they personally need to watch more boxing. I feel like the judges were perfect because I scored it a draw.
I scored a draw.
So the judging was perfect. The referee was good. The knockdown was a knockdown. He didn't allow Roach to continue fighting. He didn't allow Pitbull to continue fighting, but it also was...
He didn't allow Pitbull to keep hitting low.
I was going to get to that. He also was great judging because he deducted the point. There was nothing in that fight that I can complain about. So because of that, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch.
People are doing what they do. They're looking at the CompuBox numbers across the fight and saying, well, Roach landed more, Roach won that fight. That is not, I'm going to say it now, but it's pointless because no one's going to listen. But that's not how you judge a fight. You score a fight round by round.
Did he win more rounds?
Well, this is just what people do to push a narrative. I didn't see rounds, but I just saw the total final, and that's irrelevant. That doesn't tell you the story of how the fight went.
That's irrelevant.
But also, it's great for Roach to the fact that he was knocked down by not necessarily a bigger man on the night, but someone who's historically a bigger man in the second round and a big puncher, and got off the canvas to fight and box to a draw. That's actually, I think, really impressive and something that a lot of people are missing.
He showed
big character.
Great character and showed good adjustment. So, I mean, for me, that division's got a lot of guys. Keyshawn's there. Frank Martin, who fought on the same card. He's there. Hitchens there. Tiafimo Shakur there.
Antoine
Russell's there.
Which one is it?
Gary, yeah, but do you know all their names are Gary Russell? Yeah. But they call each other by middle names. So
okay, fine.
Gary Russell Jr.'s middle name is Junior.
Yeah.
Gary Antoine Russell is Antoine Russell, but yeah, he's.
Have you ever seen, off topic, the Robin Hood movie? No, the King Arthur movie with Colin Farrell, Clive Owen, and there's Ray Winston's in it.
No.
And Ray Winston's character's got like 10 utes, and basically the first one has a name, and all the others are just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because he's got one amount of utes. He just calls it by number.
Monday, have you what happened to Tuesday or something like that?
In other boxing news, I made a prediction. I can't remember if I made a prediction or you made a prediction or we both made a prediction that once I made a prediction 2 or 3 months ago that once Usyk vacated a belt or retired, and AJ had a fight signed elsewhere, and basically they were both busy, Luke Partridge, aka Tyson Fury, would return. Do you remember this?
No.
I said he won't return to fight Usyk, but he'll return.
I remember you saying. I remember us talking about his return. We spoke about his return a few times because you said if Fabio Wardley beats.
That's what we said. If Fabio Wardley becomes the world champion,
and becomes world champion, he will return.
Well, we didn't even know that he was necessarily going to become world champion at the time. But yeah, we did say that was it. We said if Fabio Wardley beats...
No, you did. Because remember, you were the one who was saying that you
that's it.
Wardley.
Yes.
And then you were saying... And
I'm a genius. You're right.
In the video, you were like, you know when Fury probably wants Wardley to win, but is in Joseph Parker's corner?
Yes. That's what I said. I did predict... You're right. I said, if Fabio Wardley beats Joseph Parker... What we know for certain, or what I felt I knew for certain, is that Usyk's not fighting him. I said that straight up. He's not fighting him. Everyone told me I was wrong at the time because Usyk's this champion mindset, whatever. And I said, I get that. But at a certain point, it's money. Yeah? And man don't seem to understand money. And so that is when maybe we're probably going to see Tyson Fury make a return and try to get the easiest fight with respect to Wardley. But from a technical perspective, the easiest fight at the highest level and at a world title fight.
And obviously, you also alluded to the fact that, which I just want to drop in. You said that he's probably supporting Wardley winning, vocally supporting Joseph Parker, but he probably doesn't want Joseph Parker to win. So that could be the reason why he popped dirty for the Peds. Maybe, you never know, bro. You never know.
You think he was spiked?
You never know, bruv. We know that it's not. Fury's not a stranger to them substances.
He's the best friend to them substances. That's his only friend. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
But no, I feel like if you're a fighter, you've got to take control of what's going into your body.
I'm just saying, innit? Like
I would feel hard done by.
For Joseph Parker.
I got Bridges that was in jail for trapping. I think they would feel hard done by if I got nicked for something and people just blamed it on them because they're my brethren and they've got form. Do you know what I'm saying? I would feel they'd feel a bit like rah.
That's true. But here's the thing, Nick. Though here's
Joseph Parker's ex-world champion. He's a big man, you know.
Here's where
Joseph Parker's friend of the show as well. He's reposted our stuff before. Shout out to Joseph Parker.
Here's what's interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting. I want to know, because I know the narrative from Tyson Fury already. You know, the narrative is I'm fighting who Usyk's ducking. If he comes back and fights Wardley, that's the narrative, bro. I can hear it already, bro.
The thing is, I've said before, I don't know how Englishman or white man in general, but specifically Englishman or white Western man, because mostly like Aussies, Americans and Brits, find this guy so entertaining because he's so predictable.
Facts.
The last time he made a return, we predicted it. I can't remember what the situation was, but we predicted. I think we even said before, this is like going back a year or so. We said as soon as AJ makes a fight announcement, he's probably gonna post something on him running on Instagram. And he did the same. He literally posted the following morning of him out running. He's so predictable. But then you were the kind of man that watch I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in these kind of reality TV shows. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's I mean, you man like scripted life.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I find him so predictable. Do you know what I mean? He still has a lot to offer in the division.
100%.
He's only lost twice, and that's to Usyk. So he's still a top guy, and they still haven't taken him out of the rankings, even though he's retired.
And I'll be honest, there's still at least 3 or 4 fights that I would want to see him in.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing him versus AJ. I genuinely wouldn't mind seeing him versus Wardley. I actually feel like that's a good fight.
What are the others? You said 3 or 4. I don't want to see him fight versus Usyk again.
Nah, I definitely don't want to see that fight again. Who else would I want to see Tyson Fury?
Or were you just counting them both with rematch clauses? That's your 4 fights done.
Rematch clause with AJ, definitely.
Yeah, AJ's the king of rematch clauses.
Him and AJ have to fight twice. And then maybe Wardley.
Eddie Hearn's probably got a rematch clause for fucking Jake Paul, blood.
Wardley and he beats Wardley.
Do you think Eddie Hearn's got a rematch clause for Jake Paul?
It's not his fight.
Probably if Jake Paul lands a wonder punch, I bet there's a rematch clause in there somewhere.
If he lands a wonder punch, I wouldn't even want. AJ's done, fam.
Yeah.
AJ's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know, bro. Like Fury being back I don't even get excited by it. There's still good fights that he could be in though.
But he's at a stage in his career maybe similar to AJ where he needs a good dance partner. He's no longer selling out.
Maybe him versus Francis Ngannou in a rematch, blood.
No.
The thing is, for me, the fights are Wardley, AJ twice. That's what I want to see. You fight Wardley and you win a world title. Then you go into the AJ fight as world champion and
that'd be crazy if AJ's fighting Fury and Fury's world champion and AJ's not.
But I feel like the narrative will be written because it's easy for Fury to sell that. Because Fury will just say he's fighting a world champion and he's fighting who Usyk didn't want to fight.
And he will not be wrong.
Exactly.
He won't be wrong.
He would win some stripes for that.
Yeah.
He would actually win stripes for saying, I'm coming and fighting the boogeyman of the division. I'm going to beat the man who beat the man. Or whatever.
I was going to say, will Wardley generate enough money for Fury, but it don't matter.
It's
Fury's driven by narrative, not money.
Chisora and White fights probably didn't drive a lot of money.
But Panetta and Pianetta and these people, like I thought that he's very driven by narrative more than money.
He knows that if I win a world title, I'm going into the AJ fight making big money.
100%.
Fury's one of the small one thing we can't say. Fury is not a bit. Fury is not an idiot when it comes.
100%.
To
I'll let you fight Jake Paul and drive up the general revenue, and then I'll just take a share of that general revenue because a larger percentage because I'll be a world champion. So thank you very much.
Exactly,
100%.
Fury is. We can criticize Fury.
He's a chess player. He's a chess player.
We can't criticize the fact that this guy's an elite fighter.
Oh no, for sure.
We can't criticize the fact that this guy's a brilliant businessman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
If he could stay away from psychedelics, we don't really know what he could have been.
He turned a drug ban into everybody thinking that he had mental health and sold a book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He literally turned a drugs ban into I was going through mental. People don't even remember that. You know.
I say it all the time. He's been popped twice for drugs twice.
Yeah.
And sometimes recreational, sometimes performance enhancers.
Yeah, but
so
the narrative.
It's not.
Drugs cheap.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? He did, where was his criticism like Joseph Parker got for
that's what I said.
But this guy's a genius, bro.
Joseph Parker's not getting criticism though. Joseph Parker's getting the Son Heung-min. He's a nice guy. It's not in his character. Remember that when I see Son kick a man in his testicles, the man just said he's not like that. What do you mean he's not? I just watched him be like that. Are you telling me he's not like that? Do you know what I'm saying? So wrong country, but I hear you. That's racist there. That's strike one.
No, I do it Eddie Hearn done, innit? Just put them all in one brush.
I like him. Yeah, 100%.
The Eddie's doing next week.
100%. Speaking of bad behaviour, we've got Mo Salah hitting out at Arne Slot and the Liverpool team and these types of things. Shane and I were disagreeing about this off camera, and it's one of those we should have brought the fire to the camera, but you had a certain opinion on it.
Football's football, bro. For me, we're looking at a man who's desperate right now. Arne Slot is desperate. I see Jamie Carragher come out. I see bare people come out, and some are supporting the club, some are supporting Salah. I feel like Arne Slot is the easiest scapegoat right now for Liverpool's woes. He's the easiest person to blame. Not the fact that collectively you probably can argue that they've been a load of shit, and he's got to take a lot of blame of that. He literally just tried to reorganize the entire team, so he's got to take a certain amount of blame for that. But what I don't like is when he puts his foot down, that now people are. Let me repackage my main point. If I'm gonna get fired and you're gonna blame me for what I'm doing, I'm gonna get fired for doing things my way. I'm not doing things your way, and then I look back like a
Ten Hag.
A Ten Hag, or even a better example is David Moyes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? He literally just done what the club told. He didn't have enough power within the club itself. For me, I don't like Amarin. But one thing we can say is if Amarin does a shit job, it's Amarin's fault.
Yeah.
If Amarin does a good job, it's Amarin's fault. Yeah. Because Amarin signed most of these players and Amarin changed the system, and he's been unforgiving and unchangeable when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing Slot go through a tough moment, because last season it weren't tough. I don't like the fact that he's now enforcing some form of authority, and all of a sudden people are like, is Salah. Salah's not bigger than the club, bro. And he's definitely not bigger than my job.
I think that you're right. The decision. I've been consistent in saying that the decision that Slot made, it's not a question of whether it was the good or bad decision. Liverpool fans will say it's the right decision because ultimately they went on to win in the Champions League without Mo Salah there.
And he's leaving.
And he's leaving. So that was going to be my other point. And I see where Slot is coming from. You know, to defend Slot, I said on the football stream yesterday, if you're Arne Slot, this guy's in the last year of his contract. This is not a player that you have a great relationship with. I'm not saying it's a bad relationship, but I'm saying Klopp might have given you a year extension because you're brethren. Do you know what I'm saying? And we don't have that relationship. You're a Klopp player, and what you've done for the club is great, but that wasn't under my reign. And when Klopp came in, by the way, one of the reasons that Klopp looked at United and he said one of the things we're not going to do at Liverpool, and what Liverpool were doing at the time because they were struggling, was we're not going to live in the past. The past is the past. Let it go. And he drew a line under it and he said, we're starting again. That was one of the things that Liverpool fans liked about him. We're starting again. And for Slot to do the same thing, that Klopp era was great. You guys won a Prem and a UCL and that's great. But we're drawing a line under it. We're moving on. You are gone in January for the whole month.
Mm-hmm. And you seem like you've down tools already because it's your worst.
But even if you're not, but
it's not like he's dropping a prime Salah. He's dropping a Salah that's actually playing poor.
But even if Salah was playing okay, obviously if Salah's playing unbelievably well, you got to play him. But even if he's playing okay, you are leaving for a month in January for AFCON. I, as a manager, need to have my team ready to play in your absence.
Facts.
Then you're coming back in Feb, but in May you're leaving again because you're out of contract. So all through January when you're in AFCON, you could all be talking to other clubs. And by the time you come back, I don't know what version of you I've got. You could win AFCON. You could get injured at AFCON. You could already be signed to another club. I need to make a decision and start to prepare for the short term. How do we fix this season?
Facts.
And the long term, how do we play without you at the club, point blank period?
How do I save my job?
So you are not the priority at this time. So that I totally agree with. I was just curious as to the man management side of things and how things have been communicated. We saw this with Aubameyang versus Arteta, when Aubameyang's version of events is, my mum was sick, I had to take time off. Arteta saying, I understand that your mum's sick. And this is what I'm saying about man management and just in communication skills. Arteta came out and gave his version of events. My version of events is, you said your mum was sick. We agreed a certain time you could have off for that because we've got games as well. Let's call it 5 days or a week or whatever. 10 days later, you weren't back. I understand your mum's ill, but you're putting me in a tough position now. This is where I'm at. I've seen a lot of Dutch managers, and I don't want to just shit on Dutch managers generally or Dutch people generally, but I've seen a lot of Dutch managers have either bad man management skills or bad communication and interpersonal relationships with players. Do you know what I mean? We've seen it with Ten Hag. We've seen it with Van Gaal. They typically get along with other Dutch players because they communicate, broadly speaking, in the same cultural way.
Yeah, but they have a very
direct,
they don't have an emotional sentiment is very irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You look at the way Ten Hag just discarded Ronaldo. He didn't.
Yeah.
There was no sentiment to it.
Yeah.
You're gone, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You saw Van Gaal done it when he first came to United. Koeman done it when he was at Everton for the, you know,
I can't think of that many footballers that I can remember unless we're going back to like Frank Rijkaard or something like that. I can't think of.
No, but Rijkaard also done it when he was at Barcelona.
True, but I'm trying to think of what players, when you ask them who's your favourite manager, who you got good relations. People talk really fondly about Sir Alex. People talk really fondly about Jose of a certain time, because at a certain time that wears off. Lots of people don't like Sir Alex. Lots of people don't like Mourinho, but people talk really fondly of Pep. Even Pep can be a little bit cold. People talk really fondly of Arteta. I can't think of any players or many players that are not Dutch that speak really fondly about any Dutch manager.
I'll go one step further. I don't actually know Dutch players that talk fondly of anything. You listen to the way, like, Man United has had a few Dutch players.
Yeah.
I don't hear Ruud van Nistelrooy talk about Ferguson the way I hear other people talk about Ferguson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't hear Robin van Persie talk about any, like, you know what I'm saying?
I hear Robin van Persie talk quite passionately about Man United.
I don't know.
I have.
Or Ian Robin. I don't hear.
Yeah, he's also quite cold.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't hear.
It's quite a cold culture.
Schneider. You don't hear those people talk.
Van der Vaart's very passionate. He just chats a lot of shit. I don't know if you've seen
No,
it.
but being passionate's different. They got passion.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about sentiment.
Yeah.
I'm talking about where you actually see like there's a level of emotional or personal connection. It's quite, and I maybe it is a Dutch thing.
I don't know. Like I said, I was telling Shane a story before we came on. I used to play semi-pro football for Surrey. Very, very. Shane was saying that you treat every player the same way. That was what he was saying, and I was like, that's just not true. Everyone's different. It's not about favoritism. Ozil used to get extra days off. I don't know if you heard these stories under Wenger. Some of the players they weren't angry because Ozil was Ozil. He was that good. They weren't angry, but they just used to laugh. They used to call him like teacher's pet and little things like that because they knew that you were going to get treated a certain way because you're the talisman player. And you made a point. Salah currently is not the talisman player, but it's just how it's communicated. When I was playing for Surrey, my manager invited me over to his house for dinner. When there was an opening to be captain, just to kind of tell me I was a big figure in the dressing room, and I was a big talker, as you can imagine, because I talk a lot of shit, and just to tell me that I wasn't going to be captain. Rather than send me a text or a WhatsApp or even a phone call, he had me over to the house for dinner to explain to me why, and he said to me, look, you're still going to be a big leader in the team. I still want you leading the warm-ups. I still want, if there's ever a bit of a scrap or whatever, I still want you in there straight away. I want, whatever, if the captain is struggling. But he was going to make someone else captain that was a little bit softer and could communicate a little bit softer, because I would just go in at halftime and be like, you're not fucking shit, and cast my own team. And he's like, mate, we can't. He goes, at times we can have that, but not constantly. But that's at a super low level of football.
But I think it's different strokes for different folks.
Yes.
You're right. That does work. But I feel like where Slot is right now, it's almost rip the carpet up and get everything out.
Also where Salah is, because I'm continuing to play for the club and I have a future at the club. Salah's hasn't got a future at the club.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. And my job is at risk right now.
I'm actually phasing you out.
Yeah,
I'm actually phasing you out. There's no good way for me to tell you I'm phasing you out, because that's the situation.
Not only is there no good way, I don't even want to tell you, bro. I don't even care to tell you, because as it currently stands, bro, I'm maybe 2 or 3 bad results away from being fired.
Yeah.
So right now, my priority is keeping myself in a job.
Yeah.
He could have sat Salah down and said, Salah, this is the this is the way and he may have done it. But the issue is, I'm looking at it from a net positive perspective. What does that do for me now?
Yeah.
My mindset isn't even thinking about that. Yeah. If you were to ask Slot to prioritize what's important to him right now, I would say Salah's emotional stability is not even in the top 10.
At the bottom, the last thing on his list.
Facts.
Yeah.
Right now,
it's on the last thing on his list of priorities, period. But also the fact that we said he's not a very sentimental person, point blank period, makes it even more worse. At the bottom. Yeah.
He just won Liverpool a league, and
Salah wasn't that great in that season.
Not even just that. Every Liverpool fan wants him out.
Yeah.
Nearly every Liverpool fan wants him out, and he just won the league.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, right, these fans can switch on me left or right. If I get Salah on board, that doesn't change the way people think about me in the audience.
Yeah.
I would rather say, you know what, let me start winning some games. And maybe he saw it as Salah's one of the hinder. Because I'll be honest, bro, I've watched Liverpool this season, and I think Salah's borderline down tools. One, I felt like he wanted to go to Saudi.
Yeah.
I felt like he wanted to go to Saudi. And I also think, too, Salah's looking at it from a perspective of he can eat a big piece of food, World Cup and AFCON.
Yeah.
That's how I think he's looking at it, bro.
Yeah.
That's how I think he's looking at it. And I'm like, bro, this season, Slot's trying to
Why did he stay then? Did offers not come in for him? Or why
he stayed? Because he got a pay increase in it. But remember, they took so long to renew his contract.
So the relationship was already
rocky. But I don't think Slot wanted him to stay, because since Slot's come, he's always wanted to buy his own players. The issue is, when he came into the team, he didn't have the because Klopp just left, so they didn't budget that season for a big transfer window.
And it's difficult. Liverpool haven't won many Premier Leagues. They won the Premier League. They won one before Slot came in. It's difficult to come into a team from an emotional perspective. If Arteta wins the league with this team, and then leaves, it'd be really difficult for a new manager to come in and get rid of Saka. We've not won a Prem for 20 years. Saka's been part of us winning the Prem. You just get rid of this guy. That's our guy. The manager might not give a shit. The manager's like, listen, I've got a job to do. But as Arsenal fans, we're going to be like, yo, well done for my man.
That's a fact. And I feel like, just like everybody, just like I've said in other situations, football like, if you're a fan, I understand you have a certain level of sentiment to people or whatever, but as it generally, the manager's position is the most feeble and fragile position there is.
For sure, yeah.
You're gone straight away.
Last in, first out type of vibe.
Yeah. For me, you have to go your way, bro. That's why I don't like Amarin, and I didn't want Amarin in. But at the start of the season, you asked me, do you keep Amarin? After we lost to Grimsby,
you wanted him out after Europa League final.
I wanted him. I didn't even want him in the first place.
Yeah.
But I wanted him after Europa League final. But once we started buying his players,
now you have to see where this goes.
You have to see where this goes, bro.
Yeah.
You can't. We can't do this.
We cannot bring in whoever, Zidane, Xavi Alonso, Nagels. We can't bring him in with Dorgu playing left wing back and Yoro Delit. He's going to look at this and go, what do I do with this?
Mbeumo, Cunha and Sesko as the front three.
Yeah. No, you can't. No.
This is who he's brought in.
Sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's the same thing with Slot.
Do you think that this is one of the reasons why managers try to spend on certain players so that they buy themselves time, because now you can't bring in a different manager.
And I think Slot's done that, but it also comes down to the director of football, right? And how much power. You look at a team like Spurs, where they haven't had a great DOF, or I don't even know who their DOF is, but they went from Mourinho to Conte, or Conte, was it Mourinho to Conte? And then they went from Conte to Nuno, which those three managers I could understand.
They were all defensive.
I could understand Mourinho to Conte. I didn't understand Conte to Nuno.
Yeah.
But then I definitely didn't understand Nuno to Ange, because they play. It meant you had one bag of players that wasn't playing similar football. The signings weren't the same, and I feel like with Slot has literally tried his very best. I've never seen a manager do this before. Win the league and literally try to change everything. Yeah. I've never seen that. Like, this guy's literally tried to rip up the whole thing and start again. I've never seen that before. Yeah. And it's not, his team was aging, but he's tried to replace every position. Yeah. And I feel like one of the biggest hindrances of that was Salah. Because Salah was yesteryear, and people wanted to hold on to that. Yeah. And he's looking at it, boy, this is probably the best time to drop Salah, because he's playing shit. I probably tried to drop him last season, but we were winning the league. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? That's probably what it was. He's like, boy, this is the best time to do it.
Shout out to my boy Chase Runner, rapper from Northwest London. We were driving to football in the summer, and I was like, boy, he was saying, you lot better win the league this year. And I said, bro, Liverpool are signing Usyk, bro. And he said, bro, Liverpool are going to die, bruv. I said, why? He goes, bro, one, too many cooks. And he said, Liverpool, he's a Man United fan, so he's very disrespectful about Liverpool. He said, too many cooks. And when have you ever known Liverpool to be this team of superstars, bro? They're not, as a club, they're not built for that. If United had a team of all these top superstars, it might be different. United could deal with Ekatike, Gakpo, Usyk, Mo Salah, all in one team, better than Liverpool can. Liverpool are a team that has one or two talisman, man. Even when they had Salah and Mane, it was already close to friction. They had to have a Firmino. So he said, bro, these men are gonna die. He predicted it.
Even a Chelsea could deal with that better than them.
He said, bro,
you should win the league, but I'm starting to see Efri. Like, I'm starting to see a bit of, because I want you lot to win the league, but I'm starting to see a little bit of madness right now.
Shakiness.
Yeah, like, obviously you ain't got no Salah and Gabriel, but I watched it against Villa, and I'm like, that is that early signs. Is that
a lot of people feel like it's early signs, and the fact that it was Villa, and last time 2 years ago it was Villa as well. But then unbeaten in 18. It depends on whether we can.
Unbeaten in 18, you just lost.
We were unbeaten in 18 before that. So it's like, statistically, man have got to lose a game. Unless we're going to go undefeated, man have got to lose a game at some point. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know.
So I feel like, but if we're analysing the game,
you also got to look at the fact that you drew the week before against Chelsea.
True, but I feel like we are going through a bad run, and if we can come out of this bad run,
I don't think you're going through a bad run.
This is precisely my point. If this is a good run for us by the end of the season, then obviously that looks scary. But if this is our bad run and we've dropped some points, then we can right the ship.
It's about managing.
If we can manage it, I think we should be okay.
I do feel like if I was a City Arsenal fan, I'll be borderline worried, just borderline.
Well, we're always going to be worried. Man City, we know, are inevitable in the last 12 games.
Yeah, facts.
They're freaks.
It's peak.
So you need to either match their level of freak, pause, or have a really big gap.
And that gap's closed.
So what I would say is that we feel like with Gabriel and Saliba back in the team, Timber didn't play yesterday. Yesterday we started with Christian Norgard at centre-back. Our back four was Skelly, Hincapie, Norgard, and Ben White. So none of our back four...
Where was Mascara?
Mascara's injured, my bro.
Oh, right.
Mascara's injured for 2 months. That's what I'm saying. So when I'm looking at these results, Saliba, Gabriel, and Mascara all injured.
How long's Saliba gone for?
Saliba should be back soon. Mascara 2 months. Gabriel a month or so. But Saliba should be back in the next couple of games. So when I'm saying this is our bad run, not bad run results-wise, but if this is the part of the season where we have...
this part of the season.
If we manage this well, when we get through this, we slapped Club Brugge last night 3-0. That's a team I know...
Who you got it this weekend?
Wolves.
Who you lot should win.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If we can manage this the right way, Norgard coming in, and also attacking-wise, we have players coming back. Jesus, my guy. You know, it's all love. A lot of Arsenal fans think he's done. I don't think he's done at the club, but Jesus was back. Gyökeres was out injured. He's back. We should have Havertz back. So we've got players coming back. When we get into that that last sprint, we should have players coming back at that time.
I don't think squad depth is going to be it's been your problem in recent years, but I feel like...
I'm not saying squad depth, but I'm just saying...
I feel like it's a mindset thing that you'll have to worry about this season. Because
it's always a mindset thing for us, though.
It's always a mindset. But this is the first time that you're actually like...
The expectation.
The
expectation is there.
It's not even like...
I don't think it's the first time the expectation is there.
Nah, bro. You're supposed to win this league.
I don't think so. No, I agree with you, but I think that if I'm in the Arsenal dressing room, I heard this last year, and I heard this the year before that.
No, you didn't.
We did. No, not last year. Not last year. The year before last. The year before last.
You know why?
Because Liverpool ran away with it last year.
You know why you didn't hit the year before last?
Why?
And I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because every single Arsenal fan has told me this season, if Arteta doesn't win anything, he has to go.
That's two things
You've
can be
told
true.
me that.
Yes,
you've told me that.
Two things can be true.
That wasn't 2 years ago.
2 years ago, though, is when the narrative was City had games in hand, but the narrative was you lot are 9 points clear.
But that mindset though of you're now playing for your job, I feel like that can remember. I don't think he's playing
for his job.
You are, bro.
I would want a change of manager, but I don't think Arsenal sacked the manager.
Most Arsenal fans are sitting in this position right now, saying top of the Champions League, not even lost one game.
Yep.
Top of the league in the Premier League. If you do not win a single trophy...
Oh, that's a different conversation. You're talking about... You've changed the conversation. Not winning a single trophy, yes.
That's my point. That's never been the case before. That's never been the case. So that pressure,
I thought you were saying winning the Prem.
No.
Oh, okay,
if you do not win a single trophy this season, your job... I don't think that was ever the case before. I don't think that was ever the case.
I know what you're saying.
Because if it was, he would have got fired already. He now knows this is the season, bro. It's a Southgate thing.
I said this before as well. I said, like, obviously, a League Cup or an FA Cup, Man United, not to disrespect Man United because you man have won those trophies while we haven't, but I don't even think that saves him. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think that's enough.
You know what it does? It does put a mindset of winning in. We can win something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
I still feel like the fans will feel like great. The mindset's in the players to win something. Now bring in X manager. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, facts. You're right. But I'm saying you don't need to know that you can win something as a collective. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like. That pressure of expectation, because I think
we lost to Villa away, but also Man City did also lose to Villa away.
Yeah, but Man City won the week you lost.
Yes.
So we're talking about when games are tough, and you're not playing at the same time, and you're 0-0 and Man City's winning 2-0.
We're getting a message that
you know what I'm saying? What does your mindset do there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What about when City wins before you play, and then you're on the same points, and now you know you have to win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? There's going to be scenarios where City will struggle because it's not the same City. We don't have the same, you know...
If they got Haaland though, innit? Haaland's just an animal.
And you got Pep. Pep is a winner by trade. You know what I'm saying? But I do think you're still going to win it. But I just think, whereas I was saying a month ago, I can't see how you lot don't win it. I can see a way how you... I am still saying you win. I can see a way you can't win though.
But I always thought that was the case because the widest margin we've had is like 6 or 7 points. Mm-hmm. One game we lose... is automatically going to change people. That's where I've always said it. People are like, oh, you're not backing. It's not that I'm not backing the team, but I'm not expecting the team. I know how football works, my bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially when I see Gabriel's injured 3 months, I'm like, okay, we're probably not gonna win the next. We've won 18 and unbeaten in 18. We're probably not going unbeaten for 28. Right. Our greatest run ever is 49, and that's including the Invincibles year.
And for those Chelsea fans who've been chatting bare shit, we're on the same points as you still.
Champions of the world, they said. Champions of the world. Who said that? Who said that bar? Lord of the Mics. You ain't even Lord in your yard. What? Whose tune is that? Oh, it's Stormzy. Shut up. It's Stormzy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You can't even be Atalanta. Champions of the world. You couldn't even be the champions in Italy.
Fact.
You talking about champions of the world. Who are we talking about?
Still.
What are we talking about?
You might even be champions in London, fam.
You're not even champions in London.
Speak right now.
What are you talking about? So yeah, them Chelsea fans there.
We were having our.
If Man United,
we're finishing Grimsby. We've lost the Grimsby.
If Man United finish above Chelsea, that's
bad.
That's an indictment.
That's bad, bro.
That's good from Amorim, though. That's a good recovery from Amorim.
We've only lost one game in 9 games.
Fair enough. If
no, but
I know.
This guy was done up.
I know.
It's gonna be the man.
Nah, if Amorim finishes top 6, that's pretty decent. That's pretty decent.
You gotta take it.
If Amorim finishes top 4, that is getting off the canvas to win. This is Diego Corrales. This is the Undertaker. Do you know what I'm saying? You know Diego Corrales, bro. If Amorim were to finish top 4,
Corrales versus Castillo, where he gets dropped twice,
bro, and he gets up and he's just throwing punches like Trey. Yeah. Like, do you know what I'm saying? He's just throwing punches like Trey and boys the bro. Amorim is actually like,
he's
punching back, bro.
Yeah,
you've got the mentality to do that, to lose to Spurs in a Europa League final. That manager get fired twice.
Yeah,
that manager's been fired twice.
Fact.
Since then. You lose to Grimsby, you're out of the cup. Pretty much no United fan other than Lex wants you in, and to turn it around the way it's a long way to go. We're only not even halfway through the season. It's a long way to go, and United is so united. They could be 4th, they could be 14th. We really don't know. But there you go. Slightly different topic Shane wanted to cover today. I really did not want to talk about this person on the show.
I feel like we have to, though, because it's OnlyFacts, bro.
I hear you. And because it's OnlyFacts and this is what we do, we talk about the controversial stuff, whatever, but I just don't want to give this person airtime. I see Joey Barton on my timeline all the time. And everything... I
don't see this brother, you know.
He comes up on my timeline all the time. And everything from his hair, to his glasses, to his voice, to everything just... infuriates me about him. And I just don't want to get, not that his people will come on the show and say, oh, he's got a bigger platform than you. Fucking obviously. I'm just saying I don't want to give anything to this person. Anything. Any little views that we get. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's a big conversation at the moment about free speech.
The reason why I do want to say, and obviously you brought up free speech, but the reason why I do want to talk about it is because I feel like there's a side that's being pushed, or a narrative that's being pushed, and there's another narrative that's not being looked at all. Okay. So I feel like with democracy, you have to create a balanced argument. And I feel like that's the whole point. That's the whole point of OnlyFacts.
I entirely disagree. Can you just check the cameras quick? I just want to double check that they're still running, especially the wide.
Yeah, this is running. Continue talking. Yeah, they're running. Why do you think they're not?
Joyce, I normally keep this one plugged in, the wide plugged in, and obviously it's not plugged in, so I was just getting like some anxiety, but it's fine.
This is the most important thing. That's got the audio.
Yeah, I know. I totally disagree. I don't agree. There's a thing with you done journalism, and obviously there's a thing in the world of democracy and in the world of journalism of like how much airtime do we give each individual argument.
Course. And that's how you control propaganda.
Yeah, and I don't think that's always necessarily fair. Do you know what I'm saying? When Reform first started, for example, and they had no MPs, should they get the same airtime as Labour, who's running the government, that have 60 MPs? No.
But
Do you know what I'm saying? So
I feel like...
not every opinion is equally valid.
True. But I'm talking about the opinion that people are already speaking. Everybody sounds like they're saying the same thing in relation to this Joey Barton thing, and the counter argument against what they're saying isn't being publicized. Hence the reason why we're having this conversation today.
So Joey Barton is someone who, how do I frame this? How do you want to frame this? You raise the topic. You frame it for me.
He's just in hot water right now, isn't it? Because of his
But it's not right
comments.
now. It's not right now. Joey Barton was a reasonably talented footballer. Played at QPR. Played in France for a bit, and he's known more for being a hothead in life than he's known for being a great footballer. So when you say he's in hot water
He's at
right
Newcastle as well. So
he's at Newcastle for a bit as well. So when you say, but like not Newcastle as they are now, Newcastle when they weren't great. So, and that's not to diminish what he did as a footballer, but you know, he's known for being a hothead is what I'm trying to say.
No, but I'm saying as it currently stands, his name is being spoken about a lot.
Yeah.
And that's because of his comments about that blackjack.
But I think that he only gets spoken about from doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
That's my point. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if somebody sets out every morning just to troll and be a shock jock, I don't necessarily want to respond to the shock jock because now you've won. Now you've won. This is actually what you wanted to do. You know, like when we did the stream of Rance's fight on Saturday, and we had a bunch of weirdos in the chat, and it was like all they want is attention. So the more any attention you give them is like, yes, I've got the attention. That's all they wanted.
True.
That's all they wanted.
That's true.
But he was basically he's been charged with it's a long thing to call it, but basically being grossly offensive over digital communication or something like that. And it's raised the whole conversation of free speech and different things like that. What stance do you want to take on it, or what kind of way do you want to frame this conversation?
I think we should talk about free speech in general.
Yeah.
And this is normally something you probably see on OnlyFacts Extra. But obviously, because it's about
sports element,
there's a sports element to it. And you've seen us speak about Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just something that we should keep on this channel as well. I feel like people, I have two feelings towards it. My first question is, why does he feel the need to even say it?
To say what?
What he said about that. Do you know what I'm saying?
But what he was charged with wasn't any of the things that he said. This is part of the problem with.
So what was he charged with?
He was charged because he used a picture of Fred West and his wife, famous serial killers in Britain, and posted her face or posted her body with their faces on it or something like that.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know English man banter, so I think he's trying to say that her punditry is so dead. She's murdering the world of sports punditry. I think that's the analogy he was trying to draw.
That is a stretch, fam.
So that's where the judge said, okay, you're allowed to say things. If you want to say Shane is shit, you're allowed to say that, but you can't be putting Jimmy Savile's face on Shane's body. We can't be doing that. That's where the judge said it's going too far. And he called Jeremy Vine a nonce, which obviously is a slang term for a paedophile, which is defamatory. So that's illegal with no. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where, but because he says so much shit, it's a bit like the Tyson Fury syndrome. Because Joey Barton says so much shit, his fans are just seeing that he's been charged with saying things to Eni Aluko and don't necessarily know what things he's been charged with. So they're drawing from their memory and they're saying all he said was she's a shit pundit, and that's bang out of order. But that's not what he's been charged with. Do you know what I'm saying? He's been charged with something specific.
I remember, I think I saw in the news, they were saying that how it was racist, but I don't see where the racist slur is. Because he personally might be a racist doesn't mean that what he's done is racist.
I don't know where the racism element comes into this for Joey Barton specifically, but I do think that once I know that somebody is racist and I see them attacking somebody of the particular race or culture that I know that this person has been racist to, it's difficult for me to separate the two things. We should be able to separate them, but I don't think that I can. I don't think this. If when Diddy comes out of jail, any allegation he gets from Miguel, we're going to look at him sideways. We're going to trust the allegation slightly more. We're going to wait for the evidence, but you're going to trust it slightly more than you would trust it for someone who has no allegation.
My question would be to you is, do you think he would have spoken shit about a white female pundit? That's my question to you.
The difficulty that I have with Eni Aluko is that she is genuinely terrible. She is genuinely terrible. So I don't want to come on here and defend. I'll defend Eni Aluko from racism and sexism, but I can't defend her punditry because she's awful. But you should be able to say that she's awful without using racist or sexist.
If he used racist or sexist, because I don't see where he's used racist.
I don't follow him enough to know everything that he's said. So I don't follow him on Twitter. I've seen the odd clip, but I don't know.
In this situation, I just feel like this is kind of, it's been it's more than anything, as you said, it's just some idiot white man banter because it's actually not fun. Like, that's actually not fun.
But it's funny to say, like, when Tyson Fury says, Usyk, you big dosser, some man laugh. Some man fall off their chair laughing like he's Bernie Mac. Some man find him, do you know what I mean? Some man laugh like it's like prime Eddie Griffin. Like, they find that hilarious. I don't know if you got to be on coke to find it hilarious.
Yeah, facts.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if you have to lick your dog's lips to find it hilarious. I don't know what you have to do to find it hilarious. It's just not hilarious to me. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't have a sense of humor.
I could have found a better reference than that for Fred West and his wife. And what is that? I'm almost more offended that you tried to make that into a joke.
The thing is, that's
not even funny.
The thing is, as well, I think that was the judge's point as well. The judge was like, well, these are like serial killers, and there are people in the country that are affected by these people.
No, I don't care about that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm just more saying that, like, genuinely, you could have grilled her in so many different ways.
Yeah.
You just grilled her in a...
She's an awful pundit. Have you heard her punditry?
Probably, but I probably don't even, like, acknowledge her.
She's the one, what's the famous one? She said something like, "Oh, Isak's got 18 goals in 40 games."
Yeah.
You do the numbers. That's a goal a game.
Yeah,
but like everyone has these gaffes, but she has these gaffes a lot, and it's bad. So my position is not I'm defending her punditry because it's bad. Do you know what I mean? I just want to make that clear. But the other difficulty that we have when it comes to these free speech conversations is that on social media, it's a global audience. I almost think that there should be some sort of segmentation where, like, you should know. They've done a new thing on Twitter now where you can see where the account's based. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
So there's bare accounts, like football banter accounts that, like, we can see are based in Nigeria. Bare people are getting exposed. There's accounts of, like, a girl playing like a sexy, attractive Israeli girl, and the account's based in India. There's thousands of the accounts people are arguing with are not from whatever country they're pretending to be from. The reason that's relevant is because free speech around the world looks and sounds different. In Saudi, you can't criticize the government, for example. You can't, religiously, you can't do certain things in them countries.
Like in free speech in Jamaica, everybody buns gay people.
Yeah,
but you can't ban gay people in England.
Yeah, exactly. So in England, there are protected characteristics. I got them here. Age, disability, gender reassignment. That must be new because I didn't know that was in there. Marriage/civil partnerships. That's obviously for Batty Man as well. Pregnancy, maternity.
I think Batty Man is a derogatory word for gay people.
It's too late now. Pregnancy, maternity, race, religion, sex, and sexual orientation. They're protected characteristics. So that's why you'll go online and see mad videos of white people calling black people the N-word in America. You won't get that here. Just because here, that's illegal. And I don't think that that's wrong to be illegal specifically. Do you know what I'm saying? You can say what you want, but there are certain things that you can't say. The obvious example is, for example, you cannot go into a cinema or a theatre and scream fire. That's illegal. Because that's against the law.
Can you scream bogies?
You can. but obviously that will cause a stampede and cause people to start running. So that's going to be dangerous for people. So as a result, that is against the law. You will be arrested for that.
But as you always say, what people always forget is freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequence of that speech.
My issue with this community here is that in England is that they have laws that are set up that work in their favor, if that makes sense. If you're in yard, if you're English man in yard and you go up to a black man and call him the N-word, what's going to happen?
He's going to respond.
How's he going to respond?
Violent.
Alright, cool. Whereas these man here would make it illegal. Yes, the English man might feel suppressed that he can't call me the N-word, and I feel suppressed that I can't thump you in your face. So now we're all equally suppressed in some way. But you go yard, you can call man an N-word if you want to, but man's going to pull out a cutlass.
Yeah, fact.
So it's either we have complete freedom, Or we all have a little bit of flexibility
Facts.
towards one another.
Facts.
Which way do you want to do this? And
Facts.
depending on who you are...
Because you see, my issue with Joey Barton and freedom of speech when it comes to football in general is we have to then have a line. Because we're not going to act like a lot of these men aren't bringing their prejudices into sport anyway.
We just saw it. Yeah, I just saw it yesterday with Ruud Gullit and Richard Keys on. I can't remember what sports show it was. Ruud Gullit was talking about Bellingham, and he was saying he's a great athlete, he's a great player. What we said earlier, you've got a bit of that arrogance and that character about you. He didn't use the word arrogance. Got a bit of that character about you, blah blah blah. And Richard Keys was saying, but isn't it just like it's all for the cameras and he's arrogant and stuff? And Richard Keys kept making it personal. And Ruud Gullit kept bringing it back to football. He was like, no, this is football. And as a player, here are his attributes. And Richard Keys 2 or 3 times kept talking about Bellingham as a person. And Ruud Gullit kept batting it away. And so that is, we've seen this on a number of occasions.
This is my thing. And when it comes to Richard Keys is allowed to say that. He's personally allowed to say that.
Yeah, of course.
My issue is more about the consequence.
Yeah.
I actually don't like the fact that Joey Barton's been charged for this.
I feel like
I actually don't like because if based on what you've explained to me, if he's called someone a nonce and he's cool and he's
put Fred West picture on.
Fred West picture for me.
But for you is irrelevant. The law is the law.
Yeah.
I come from the hood. If me and you get into an argument and I punch you in the face, you just got punched in the face. I don't know anyone in my phone book that's calling the police over that. But the law is the law.
Fact.
If a police officer's driving past and I punch you in the face, I'm probably going to get arrested. But if we're on the block and there's no feds around, who's calling the police for that?
Yeah, fact.
Do you know what I'm saying? So this is the problem with the law, and this is what jars me. Everyone on Twitter saying the same thing as you. For me, fuck you. Who the fuck are you? Are you a judge? Do you know what I'm saying? The law is the... Are we obeying the law or not? Because there's mad shit I want to do that's against the law. Are we obeying the law or not? Do you know what I'm saying? Because when man break the law, bro, I got man in jail right now. That's my bridges that for me, they shouldn't be in jail, but they are. So why is it for me? Who are we? Do you know what I'm saying? That's why the law's there, so we don't have this. And I also feel like when man go jail from the ends, if you've got previous if you get arrested with a spliff on you and you ain't never been jailed or ever been arrested before, they might confiscate the spliff and let you go. But if you get arrested with a spliff on you and you got bare charges for
weed
carrying, you might end up in jail.
Yeah, facts.
Joey Barton has multiple incidents of this. Not just the murder, not just his brother chasing down a black man at 18 and randomly killing him. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we know the family's racist, point blank period, and murdered a black man. That's a fact. But he has multiple instances of this. Do you know what I'm saying? In 2008, he racially abused Gabby Abomlahor. Do you know what I'm saying? There's multiple situations.
No, that's why I'm saying sometimes it's the messenger, not the message. Do you know what I'm saying?
Of course, but like I said, I don't know anyone that thinks Eni Aluko's punditry is good. No one's advocating for Eni Aluko. We're talking about you and the way that you move, and you as somebody of a big audience. I've sent reels of his to different people, even like Ricky, and been like, bro, who watches this guy?
Do you find it your responsibility to like ridicule this guy publicly?
Who, Joey Barton?
Yeah.
Why would that be my
man like Ricky?
What are you saying, Rick? We're just talking about racist grey man and Ricky walks in. Jeez.
The most, I don't even know what to call him.
Nah, bro. But yeah, no. There's no point if there were Englishmen, I'm assuming it's mostly Englishmen.
Yeah.
If there are Englishmen out there that support Joey Barton and support his podcast and like what he does, my ridiculing as a young black man is not going to change the narrative at all. So what's the point? I might as well talk to myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, but the reason why I'm saying that, and this is the reason why I brought this conversation up in the first place.
Yeah.
Because for me, I look at it like this. We may represent a small percentage of people that... Let me give you an example. I have an amazing example, but I don't want to use this example.
Why?
I'm going to use it in code. Them man over there.
Yeah.
And the situation that happened with them man over there.
Yeah.
And the infiltrator.
Yeah.
And then the tweets being...
Yeah.
Those...
Now you said tweets, everyone knows what you're talking about. Go on, yeah.
If you don't, you don't.
Every time I see her, it makes me sick, but go on.
But what we spoke about, we didn't really go in that hand.
No.
What we spoke about...
Yeah.
Could be what people genuinely think. but they just don't have the balls or courage to say it.
We're not talking about balls or courage.
No,
though. This the
wait,
thing.
wait. Let me land my point.
Go on.
We carry a YouTube channel that doesn't have a large amount of views or subscribers, but we know we've done videos that's triggered certain conversations and triggered response. And I always think about the AFCON video and the Gary Neville video, and we literally saw the contrast of the two. And I feel like it's healthy for me having this conversation when we're speaking about free speech, specifically when it comes to a guy who's a known racist, and a conversation that is so. Because, as you said, we do not disagree that this girl can't be a pundit. We don't agree, but we also don't agree that this guy's just a fussy. So the whole conversation right now is, how do we move forward, or what side of the fence do you personally stand?
There's no sides of the fence though. It's not two different sides of the fence.
I think it is.
It's not. I don't support her in her punditry. But I also don't think that she should be subjected to racist abuse.
Was she racially abused? Ricky, was she racially abused?
You're talking about Eni Aluko.
How was she racially abused?
He might not know off the top of his head, but
do you know how?
Her complaints were that she was being
racially, and that's what I'm saying.
As for evidence to that, though, I don't remember seeing any.
This is my point, yeah.
He's not on trial. We're having a conversation now about something he's not on trial for. He's on trial for calling Jeremy. He's on trial. This is what I'm saying. He puts out so much shit content, man are getting muddied. He's not arrested for being racist to Eni Aluko. He's arrested for the Fred West post, and he's arrested for calling Jeremy Vine.
I hear you.
So us talking about whether or not he's racist is irrelevant.
No, but yeah, it's very relevant.
No, but I'm talking about with regards to what he's arrested for.
I hear you. But
are we talking about him as a person, or are we talking about what he was arrested for?
I'm talking about this whole thing on a whole, and trying to bring it back to the concept of freedom of speech.
Okay.
Because freedom of speech is a broader topic.
Yes.
And when we're because obviously this is the angle that
you're a journalist. You know you can't do defamatory, you can't do libel, you can't do these things. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone knows that. Jeremy Barton knows that. You can't call man a paedophile with no proof.
But I'm gonna have you're 1,000,000%. You're 1,000,000% right about that.
I normally am.
But I'm not gonna ridicule Joey Barton for calling someone a nonce, because for me, I'm not gonna ridicule someone for that. You personally said, I'm not gonna say the names. You personally feel like that certain big YouTubers that you think are a bit questionable when it comes to playing with the pitney them, or
I haven't said that on the camera.
Not on camera.
That's the difference.
No, but
that's
point
the difference.
is,
That's the difference. If I say to you, I'm trying to think of a name of someone that we don't actually know. I don't know anyone called Jimmy. If I say to you, Jimmy's a nonce in the pub, that's different from me sitting on camera and telling the audience that Jimmy's a nonce. That's different from me tweeting it. And then there's a difference between 2,500 followers, which we have, road to 5K, like and subscribe, and him having 3 million followers or something like that. That's totally different. I'm not going to use you as an analogy, because you're going to say, man can say what they want about me, I don't care, blah, 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 blah. But if you've got a business, there's certain topics you don't want to cover on Extra. There's certain topics you don't want to cover on Extra. There's certain topics I don't want to cover on Extra.
What topic do you don't want to cover on Extra?
To me, there's nothing I want to cover. You know what I'm saying? But because that could damage your career or whatever the case may be. So if you're a pundit, and this person, even if you're a shit pundit, and I think Eni Aluko is a shit pundit, but somebody is consistently, someone's saying stuff that's affecting your job. You know what I'm saying? So right now, if me and Ricky do a video and he says, yeah, Shane done something questionable to Gyal or whatever, and it's on OnlyFacts, it gets 300 views, it's not going to affect your career. But if that gets picked up by the Daily Mail and they start posting Shane touched up Gyal or did this and that, and now your manager's calling you into the office, you're going to be like, yo, you're going to call your lawyer and say, yo, take this down, bro.
No, you're right. The biggest issue that I have is Joey Barton it's not just Joey Barton. Joey Barton represents a group of people that we personally do come encounter with on a regular basis as content creators. And it's for me, that's why I want to dig into this, because Joey Barton's one person that speaks on behalf of a bag of people. Yeah. A lot of people share Joey Barton's opinion.
There's a lot of racist grey man in the country, is basically what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
but they still have to follow the law.
Yeah, of course they do.
If man don't like me because I'm black, that's their business. But they can't walk down the street and call me a nigger. That's against the law. Them not liking me is fine.
But Ricky, let me explain.
Ricky's trying to come here and chill. You're trying to draw him into a conversation. Go on.
I feel like if Nick phones the police because a man called him a nigger, I'm gonna look at you as a fascio.
Of course, for us. But you know, you're meant to be pro-black, right?
Yeah.
You know the difficulty that black people face getting into media positions.
Yeah.
You know the difficulty that black women specifically face getting into those positions. I don't think she's good, but she's worked hard to get into that position. To have someone come and tear that down.
That's why I'm saying, is it my responsibility to then be on the side of, you said there's no side of the defense. Is it my responsibility to clap corn after this brother? That's what I'm trying to say. I want to know.
I'm not clapping corn on any of Luco's behalf, but I'll clap corn on Saka's behalf. I'll clap corn on Saka's behalf.
Remember you said it, enemy of, you always say.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Literally.
Yeah.
And this might be a guy that we could just use this to just clap corn. That's literally, that's what I'm saying. Because this guy's a known fascio.
But it's what does he want? He wants the attention. If we had a big, genuinely, I'm having this conversation because our following's fairly small. If we had 1 million subscribers, I wouldn't cover this.
You wouldn't?
If I wanted to help any Aluko, I would try to give some advice. People might say, who the fuck are you to give her advice? She's more successful than I am. But I might have her on the show. I might give her advice. I would build her up rather than try and tear him down. Because that's what he wants. He wants engagement. He's basically a troll. He's a Twitter troll.
Hey,
so we're giving him more. I don't want to give him more. I would pour into any Aluko's cup.
Would you do the same? Would you do the same for that? What's that racist man that goes around? That everybody knows this guy, bro. Robinson, Tommy Robinson. Would you do the same thing for that guy?
What do you mean?
Would you never do a video about?
I would never share a platform with Tommy Robinson.
But would you never do a video ridiculing Tommy Robinson?
Again, it depends on the size of the audience. If we're a small audience,
with 1 million subscribers, would you?
Ridiculing him?
Yeah.
No.
We've done.
I would do videos
on Jamie Carragher.
I would do a video. Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville are not racist.
Racial opinions.
They are not racist.
No, I know. But they've had racial opinions that we've had opinions about.
I think that Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher are two men that are giving their opinions about a specific topic at that particular time. Whether they come with racial bias and different things like that, I think that I could have a conversation with them, highlight their racial bias, and I stand a better chance of educating them or changing their mind than I do with Tommy Robinson.
Joey Barton.
I'll punch Joey Barton in his face. But there's not they're not genuine intellectual conversation seeking people. So what's the point?
Yeah, hey.
We know Tommy Robinson's paid by Israel. What's the point of having a conversation? What are you going to achieve? Tommy Robinson sat down with Young Spray. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Do you know what I'm saying? What are we doing here? We saw what happened if Tommy Robinson talked to Akala.
Yeah.
It didn't go well for him, did it? He's never sat down with Akala since. There's mad intellectual black people you could sit down with. You sit down with a crackhead of ADHD. What's the point?
Who's the crackhead with ADHD?
Spray.
I didn't know he's got ADHD.
I can tell he's got ADHD.
I'm not gonna say I didn't know he was a crackhead because
he admits that on his show. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So there's a difference. You've got to be careful with how you're managed. My gal, I would never share a platform with my gal.
Oh,
I would never share a platform.
I would have shared if she was still a racist, right?
But I said at the time, you said I would want to interview. I said you can interview on your own time.
If she was still a racist, I would have.
Nah, man.
Because I'm actually genuinely intrigued by what makes people. Well, also on the race topic.
We can ask Ricky. Let me not make those jokes. I made this joke to Ricky before he got upset. Let me not make this joke.
But
You can ask.
I called Ricky a white supremacist. He wanted to fight me, you know.
Here's one thing I do want to say though, Ricky. Yeah.
Bad day.
The topic that Ricky did want us to talk about, and actually this is a good topic, was the black managers.
Okay, fine. Let's get on to that. Because I genuinely feel like, and big up Vincent Kompany. Because what we've seen Vincent Kompany do is defy this idea that black people aren't intellectually good enough to be good managers. And I don't know that that's.
No, that is definitely the narrative. Because if you look,
let me just educate you real quick, my young brother. Do you know what I'm saying?
We're turning to Malcolm.
100%. You know, brother Malcolm's my guy. But I think that you have to be careful with what is the narrative and what is their narrative. Does that make sense?
So what's the reason?
Their narrative is that black people are not intelligent, but that's not our narrative. So I don't want to internalize that and talk about it.
No, that's not what I think.
That's what I'm saying.
I know why black managers aren't.
Why?
They're not given as much opportunity.
Why is that though?
Because they're black.
Is this? Do you think it's just as simple as that?
I mean, are we living in space, bro?
But break it down for me.
Lampard struggled with a job, struggled at Derby, and then got a job at Chelsea. I don't, bro.
I actually think.
What? In fact, let me give you a prime example. I'll give you a prime example.
Okay.
What black person do you know? Yeah, could have zero experience in a field and instantly go to the top of their field straight away. I don't know any black person that could ever do that.
Porn.
Maybe because we're subject to physicality. You know what I'm saying?
I think two things can be true. I think that there are limited spaces for managers. For every 25 players, there's one manager. So there's limited spaces. But I think that there's more. It's more certain people getting favoritism and fast tracked, as opposed to black people specifically being held back. Because there are not Asian managers, there are not necessarily East Asian managers, there are not necessarily American managers. We're talking about people that are getting fast tracked.
No, we're talking about
in this country specifically.
No, we're talking English managers on a whole. Yeah, they struggle, and
no English managers
have never won a prem. An English manager's never won a prem. So of recent, we're British manager, but no English manager. We're struggling to find great or good English managers, period.
That's interesting, actually. Sorry, go on. I was going to say
but my biggest issue is why you can't use it for East Asian or Southern Asian football players is because not all of, but some of the best football players that's ever played, some of the most intelligent football players that's ever played have been black players. That's not the case for management. When we talk about people like Vincent Kompany and we looked at what he done as a captain, there's been great black captains. Do you know what I'm saying? There's been so many great black captains. You look at obviously the great players that's come from Brazil, and majority of the great players that come from Brazil are black. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't genuinely feel like the great
players don't necessarily transition into great coaches, though.
I know, but great players get opportunity, bro. I'm not talking about whether you make a good manager or not. Wayne Rooney was not a good manager. He got an opportunity to be a manager. That's my point. I don't care, but forget who makes a good manager. Vincent Kompany.
Do you think as well? Yeah, this is going to be a bit savage, but do you think that certain black people were set up as well? Because I just realised Troy Deeney got an opportunity to be a manager. But that wouldn't be the first name that I would put forward as a very intelligent person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not only are there limited opportunities for black players, but when there are opportunities for black players to step into management, you're either picking the wrong people to go and advocate for them. This is a man that sat on podcasts and said, I told Watford's management if they didn't pay me my wages, I'd injure people in training. And he got the opportunity to be a first team manager. What the fuck is going on here? And then there's the other side of if a black manager does get the opportunity to. If a black player does get the opportunity to be a manager, how much time are they given? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, but it's also, let's ask the question. If you're a manager, if you're a club owner, do you want a black manager? Do you want the person to run? Because this is the biggest issue. I genuinely feel like British people, in fact not just British people, white people don't like taking instructions from black people.
Let's talk about British people generally because we live in Britain. We've not been
British
to Australia.
People don't like to take instructions from black people. You brought up the fact.
I agree. I said this to Ricky before.
You brought up the fact that why is there great British black trainers and why do they occupy in boxing, but not in football? And I'm like, in football, it's because literally the disparity is so clear. But guess what? Some people still struggle, bro. Some people still struggle.
To the boxing part, I got two things to say on this. If we look at grassroots level of both sports, in football, as I said before, I played semi-pro football for a couple of years. There's a big thing in football. There's reports on it from the FA and all this kind of stuff about players being misprofiled. You've never played football for a team, have you?
No, I played for a team, but not at a level. Not like a great level. Like
you play football at a level, yeah? If you get a player, let's say Yaya Toure, someone of his ability, playing in grassroots level football, what does the manager normally do with that player? The player comes in and says, I'm a technical centre mid. Ricky starts laughing. What does the manager normally do?
I don't know.
You go centre back.
Okay.
You either go centre back or you're the big lump up top. They're not framed to see the players that are intelligent as intelligent. They tend to, there's a whole report on it. This isn't my opinion. There's FA reports on it. And they immediately, in grassroots football, it's such a white sport. Take away the players that play in the sport. I'm talking about the infrastructure of the sport. You cannot really get from the bottom of football to the top of football without a white man above you in some position of authority at some point. In boxing, you can. Yeah, you can go into grassroots boxing and have black coaches, black trainers, black managers all the way through your career. You can even fight for governing bodies where you've got people like Maurizio Suleiman, maybe for the WBC. Yeah. It's not necessarily a white man that's sitting on top of you. You could be a whole professional boxer and never fight for a world title and not have to deal with the sanctioning bodies point blank period. So once you get in football, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, never.
You will almost certainly have a white manager as a young player when I was playing Sunday League. Shout out to Glenn because he was a great manager for me, to be fair. Do you mean you will have a white chairman? Ian was my chairman at Hampton and Richmond. So already you are going into an environment.
I get what you mean, because
the entire environment is not conducive to you. You are going to have to create a bit of a shell of yourself. It's almost like when you're going into the office. You're going to have to put on your professional persona. In boxing, you could keep your natural persona all the way through your career.
I feel like there's also a narrative that we need to look into. There's a lot of great black pundits. There's a lot of great black pundits, bro. There's a lot of black football players that's turned into pundits and they're seen as some of the best, whether it's Rio Ferdinand.
That's not where I would start this.
Ian Wright.
Ian Wright, Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira. Yeah, I'm not going
Let me tell you what. Well, the reason why I said Rio Ferdinand.
Rio's mixed race anyway.
I'm thinking about the biggest people in the UK.
He's a top pundit. He's a top pundit. Yeah.
But that's why I said biggest. I use the word biggest in terms of stature.
Yeah.
A lot of that tells me you can entertain us, but you can't control us.
I do 100%. Also, football's a global sport. Lots of players are coming from countries where England has subtle racism, America has less subtle racism, but some countries in Eastern Europe or Australia and other places,
Italy,
they have overt racism. So
Spain.
Football team in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, in Italy, they boo their own players because they're black. It happened to Balotelli, it happened to Moise Kean. So how do you, as a black manager, go into a team where you're going to manage those people? They are super. I think English people, I said to Ricky before, English people struggle to take leadership from a black person and take direction from, let alone countries where racism is standard.
But let's look at it from the way, but let's look at the media as well. Look at Kante and look at the way Kante is spoken about in the media. Look at the way Pogba's spoken about in the media. Look at the way...
Did you see Tamori was on Filthy Fellas?
No.
And he was talking about... shout out to Filthy Fellas as well. And he was talking about Kante. And they were saying, who's the most underrated player that you played with? And he said Kante. And he goes, bro, you could do everything. Like, you know, people have this image of him, nice guy, tackler. But he was technical. Like, again, people make an assumption about him that it's very physical. But he said he could pass, he could shoot. And he also said he was a bit of a bastard, you know. He would kick you, he would foul you, he could be nasty, but once the image was painted that he was a nice guy who ran a lot, that was the image. Let's
look at, because I don't even...
Yaya Toure, being Ricky always says, the most underrated player in Prem history.
I don't want to talk about why black managers don't get a job with no experience like a Jose. I'm going to talk about people like Pep, like Xabi Alonso, people who were actual managers that then, football players that then became managers.
Yeah.
For me... there is this notion that if you're Spanish or Italian, you're intelligent.
Yeah, if Europeans are seen as more... But even in football, Europeans are seen as intelligent. Name me Africa. We've got Michael Essien and John Obi Mikel and Yaya Toure, like I said before. There's a bunch of African players that are very intelligent players that are always referred to for their athleticism. They're strong, they're powerful, they're this, they're that. You've got intelligent strikers like Benteke was a very intelligent striker, very technical striker. He's seen as a big lump up top, big target man. This is why I said at grassroots level, if you're over 6 foot, if you have a 12-year-old son and he's 6 foot or 5'11" and he goes to play football and he wants to be a technical midfield player, they will not let him be a technical midfield player. They won't coach him like a technical midfield player. They'll stick him at centre back or they'll stick him up top. All the non-league teams and lower league teams have a big black man up top, like an Akin Fenwa type of player.
You think about someone like Seedorf and how intelligent he was as a football player. You know what I'm saying? You think about you look at Vincent Kompany. It doesn't take a genius to tell me that this guy was going to be a top manager. It doesn't take this guy was an elite football player and an elite captain.
Yeah.
But how much Vincent Kompany's are out there?
Vincent Kompany's also European. I think that even amongst black people, there's a tier list where they put Africans at the bottom and probably put.
But I wouldn't
put
mind
European-
seeing more Vincent Companies though.
No, 100%. No, 100%.
Van Dijk could be a football manager when he leaves.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, you're gonna be probably pushing more like Patrice Evra. Yeah. And Alex, let me explain. Alex Ferguson said there's 3 players that he's managed that he thinks will be who thinks will go on to be a manager. One of them he said was Patrice Evra, and he publicly said that. Guess what? Patrice Evra was pushed to be an entertainer and a clown. Instead, do you know what I'm saying? That's my point. You can entertain me. You can entertain me, but you can't tell me what to do.
There's something that you should think. You listed Xabi Alonso and Pep Guardiola. What do them 2 players have in common? What position do they
CDM.
Midfielders, and this when you got Nick listed a few kind of black centre midfielders. The majority of managers who were players have been centre midfielders.
Arteta's a centre mid, Vieira centre mid,
Zinedine Zidane was
Zinedine Zidane centre mid,
Pirlo, maestro. There are many black centre midfielders, Yaya Toure being a perfect example, who has a similar football IQ to those players, but does he have the aspiration to want to be a manager? His brother did. Carlo Toure was assistant manager, but did he have the aspiration to? Did John Owen Mikel? John Owen Mikel's a fantastic footballer. Kante's a fantastic footballer. Do they have the aspiration to want to be a manager? I don't know, because if you look at, do I think Messi will become a manager? No, I don't think he has. I don't think he'll want to be. He might be a fantastic manager, but some players.
Messi would be a terrible manager.
Do you think?
I think Messi would be the worst manager.
He'd be the worst manager in the world. He's too good. Good, great player, bro. He's good. Messi's gonna tell you what should I do. Run through the team.
Do what I do.
What kind of manage that? That's why Henri was a terrible coach. Do you see? Have you seen the clip of Bradley Wright Phillips talking about Henri as a coach?
Yeah.
No,
he said he was terrible, bro, because they would ask, how did we take this free kick? And Henri would just step up and bins the free kick and be like, there you go, do that.
There's a prime example of that is in boxing. Roy Jones Jr. He's probably one of the
Roy Jones can't coach.
He's probably one of the worst coaches ever. But
if he's gonna coach someone, it has to be a Shakur or an Andre Ward or someone who naturally has a high ceiling of technical
because when
ability.
he tried to get Eubank to do what he was doing, it was like giving an iPad to a 1-year-old, bro, or flipping, not even an iPad, trying to give a Rubik's Cube to a 1-year-old.
You said, right? If, for example, you was to go join the Sunday League team this weekend, yeah?
Yeah.
The first thing, if you're a majority white team, they're going to say to you,
what?
Are you quick? Can you play
As black players, constantly you're quick.
Are you quick? Can you play the wing?
I see, bro. I've gone to football and I see them pick man because they're black and they assume they're quick.
Yeah.
This guy, man, especially you being slim, the man are gonna assume you're Jamaican and you're slim. I assume he's quick. Then once you ain't quick, it's like, bro, this guy's dead. Like, bro, I only picked you to run. This is like Calvin with me and Sammy at football. You've been to football with me and Sammy, bro. Calvin just kicks the ball to the corner and expects me to run for it, blood. As soon as I don't run for the through ball that he's played for me because I'm quick, yeah. As soon as I'm tired, I don't want to run no more. He's done with me, blood. Do you know what I'm saying? Man's like a spent mule to these man, blood. Big man thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
All of that stuff is what it
Yeah,
is.
let us know you lot's opinions in the
But I think it starts from grassroots. Football players are misprofiled from grassroots level. They are misprofiled and often played in the wrong position. Then, if they are found in the right position, they are not spoken about or praised in the way that they should be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're seeing this with Bellingham. We're seeing this with a lot of black players just at this particular moment in time. It's almost a poison chalice. If you're a black player and you're getting a lot of praise, it's almost a poison chalice because it's only a certain amount of time before the media turns on you. Do you know what I'm saying? Right now, Morgan Rogers is getting a lot of praise, but just you wait, Morgan. Just you wait. Do you know what I'm saying? Marcus Rashford. Obviously, Sancho's done it to himself and he's not even black anyway. But yeah, so see, some of these man, do you know what I'm saying? We know what it is. And so when you've lived, I think that when you talk about aspirations, when you've lived the life of a footballer as some of these men have lived, if you're Marcus Rashford and you're Phil Foden's probably more technical than Marcus Rashford, to be fair, but the way that Saka and Foden, the way the media has treated you throughout your career, when you're 35 and you retire, which one of you wants to stay in that industry? Who wants to stay in that industry?
Saka still stays in the industry. You see many Sakas still in the industry in the form of punditry.
But I think that's different. That's not on the pitch. It's a if you can't beat them, join them situation. I couldn't beat the media. I will now join the media. It's easier for me to make a change. It's easier for me to make a change by joining the pundits and not attacking black players than it is for me to make a change going and being a coach.
Because the media, you have experience. You have experience. Maybe we don't have this Enya Luko thing because Enioluku has experience of being a football player and being managed. She has, I don't know her media experience. I know Sturridge didn't. I know Michael Richards didn't. But them man look cool. They fit the narrative of having a black person on TV. They probably think this is MTV based or something. I don't know. They just like, I feel like there's an idea where
you're entertainers.
We can entertain. This goes back to the slave plantation.
I understand what you're saying.
I feel like people like to be
Motown, all this kind of stuff. Yeah,
you like to be
post in Jim Crow, you could come into the club to entertain, but you couldn't come into club to be a patron
or
of the
to
club.
be a manager of the club. Definitely not the manager of the club.
There were black mafia dons that ran nightclubs that weren't allowed to sit in the nightclub they owned. They had to sit in the back room on a Gatsby
for me,
thing.
I genuinely feel like that just ain't left. People just, you could entertain me. That's why you can.
I've said this to Ricky so many times.
Michael Richards is a clown on TV. Patrice Evra is a clown on TV.
Ricky laughed at me, but I said to him, sometimes when I go into a work environment or any environment and I meet white people, sometimes I will test their level of racism to see whether. Ricky was laughing,
that's one of the first things he said to me.
But it's true. Like, when I say test their level of racism, I meet Ricky, he supports Arsenal, I support Arsenal. Cool. He's from London, I'm from London. Cool. He plays football, I play football. Cool. But what happens when we disagree? That's where I'm going to see what you're really on as a white person, bro. Because as soon as we disagree, or if we both go apply for a job and I get the promotion, when I first met Ricky, he'd been in the company longer than me, so he's kind of telling me what to do. But when it gets to the point where I have to tell you what to do, or we disagree about something, let's see what you're on.
Facts.
Joe, because a lot of people flip.
I feel like a lot of black people are to blame for that, though.
Of course.
Because there's a lot of black people that when they do get in a position of power, they just give up that position to a white man just because that person's white.
I told you this. I was
but I'm just telling you.
OnlyFacts Sports episode 35. Sniper out now on all digital platforms. You know what I'm saying? Free all oppressed people from around the world.
Bro,
down with colonialism. No, this is just me. I'm not talking for no one else.
There was a time where you couldn't say that. There was a time
I said it anyway. Did I say it anyway?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. You know what I'm saying? Man, know what I'm on. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you think about, I can't even remember, bro. Tyson Fury's return, Mo Salah versus Slot. We're not even going to talk about Joey Barton. Should there be more black managers? What is the barrier to there being more black managers? And we're talking about black people because of the prevalence of black football players versus East Asian.
And company doing so well.
East Asian. No, I don't think that matters.
No, it does, because it tells me that you can.
I didn't need that.
Not me.
I didn't need that.
No, not me. It's proof. I couldn't tell you before company. I couldn't tell you whether a black manager could manage a team because I didn't have any tangible evidence.
That's ridiculous.
What other than
That's ridiculous.
What tangible evidence did I have?
I don't need tangible evidence.
No, you do.
I don't need tangible evidence.
Bro, we're arguing against the media,
I don't need tangible evidence.
You do, bruv.
I don't need tangible evidence.
Not for yourself, but if I'm presenting an argument and I was to say black people can manage football clubs, Exhibit A, what would be my Exhibit A?
But why should there need to be an Exhibit A? If there were, what's something that you want to do in life,
bruv?
Let's say you wanted to be like the top grime DJ. Yeah. Do you need to see a white? If everyone in there's black, you still feel like you could just walk in as a white man. You just walk in as a white man and be the top grime DJ. Bro.
You feel like that, but if I'm a club promoter and I've never seen that's like bro. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm in a dancehall rave, I ain't letting no white man control this rave.
What about David Rodigan?
But that's my point. Until you had David Rodigan, that's what I'm saying. Until you had him,
example of that. My friend hosts one of the biggest floats in Nottingham Carnival. Was a white guy who plays Afrobeats and dancehall, and he's very, very well liked by the black community.
Afrobeats at Carnival is an offence.
But my point. But until you see someone do it, you don't have an Exhibit A.
I don't like that mentality.
I'm not saying for me.
Man needs to read Brother Malcolm.
Bro, I'm not. You're so dumb. I'm not saying for me. I'm saying to get in the door, Jackie Robinson. There's people who used to say.
I understand. My thing is I've regularly gone to companies and worked for them when I've been the first black man to go and work for that company. So I personally, but I understand what you're saying.
Alright, cool. That's a question. Yeah. When you were in that company, how good were you at dealing with the manager?
70%.
Now, how good was the manager at you telling the manager what to do?
Oh, 0.
That's my point, fam. Because you don't believe in you, bro.
Yeah.
And if he saw that saw
100%.
that there was a black man who could capably be better than him, then he might take advice. But he ain't gonna do that, bro.
Even then, I think.
No, but I tell you why. Because in boxing, they take advice from black people all the time. White people take advice from black people in every way because they see it, bro. They see it. Like, in order for you to be successful, it's gonna be nearly impossible for you to get there without a black influence. It's the same thing in rap, bro. You think Eminem could get there without Dr. Dre? You're gonna need some form of black influence, bro. That's what I'm telling you. But,
I agree.
as an Eminem fan, obviously,
Yeah.
And he would admit that himself.
Yeah.
that's my point. So I'm like, Eminem is if I guarantee if Eminem wasn't who he was, there would half of white people wouldn't want to rap.
100%.
You wouldn't know he's capable, bro.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that you're capable of doing that.
I hear you. OnlyFacts Sports. Go over to OnlyFacts Extra.
Look
We got
at
content.
M.R. I guarantee you.
No, there's no way. There's no way we're doing this. Not on my show. Not on my show.
I don't know if
Not on my show.
this
Not on my show. We're
I
not
don't say
doing
in
that.
5 years you're gonna see
We're
a
not-
bagger white man just speaking patois, bro.
We're not doing that, bro. Yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're out.